first topic is time and space. I have a long list of topics that I want to talk about. But the first topic I want to talk about is time and space. I don't know why, I just wrote all this stuff down and I feel like I can slowly but surely make videos about all this stuff. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm going to start with time and space just because I wrote it down first, but I want these videos to be just general discussions on topics that I think are cool. I mean, then slowly but surely, hopefully, you can get to know who I am if I talk calmly enough. And you're like, oh, this guy is talking about this or whatever, and you can just have like a calm, and we can just have like a calm discussion about it. Because I want people to talk about it with, but I don't know anybody, so it'd be awesome to meet people too. If I could meet people that are talking about this stuff, that would be awesome too. But I want to approach it from a different time and space are funny because I have definite opinions on time and space. I've programmed my mind in some weird way to like completely dismiss the belief in time. Every time somebody's like, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock," I'm just like, "Nope." It's just like I've completely blocked out all sense of time, which has served me well for the past. I mean, it feels like I've been alive for centuries. It feels like I've been alive for a long time. I mean, like, but I've always enjoyed stretching out my time as long as I can, no matter how painful it gets. It's like, if you want to have more time in your life, then you'll I mean, like, inevitably time and space are what I mean, time and space are connected. They're just one thing. Time is space. So if you want more time, you'll actually foster more space within your own being. It's like people are running around thinking, I have no time, I have no time. What you really have is no presence. Because if you had more presence within yourself, within your own body, within your own mind, then you would have more time to spend with everyone. You know what I mean? You'd be like, great, now I have all this time. I can spend it with everyone all the time or whatever, which would be great. Because that's what we all want is like, all those connections that you missed, all those things. There's not enough time to talk to everyone. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows there's not enough time to do everything they want to do. But in reality, there's not enough space because this game that we play is this game of space. It's like you have this amount of time to do this. It's like what you're really saying is you have this amount of space. It's like what you really want to do is become all that you can be inside by finding your presence from within and just being with yourself all the time and just being present all the time. It's not that you have to be, it's that you come to realize that I mean, like, I was making this mistake for a long time that time was just like this hard thing that I had to fight for. I want more time. I want more money. I want more time. I want more everything. But what you really want is more space within yourself to be yourself for a longer period of time. It wouldn't matter if you had all the time in the world. I mean, like, one beautiful interaction between two people, it can feel like a divine thing, an interaction between two people. It's like, okay, I met this person, but everything went so smoothly with them, and everything went so beautifully when we met, and everything was just perfect for just that second, And it was like, what really happened is like you had all the space in the world, and it's like what really happened was like millions of years came together. And when that happens, something beautiful does happen. It's like time almost goes out the window when it's too important. It's like you get all the time in the world when you need it. It's like that's how it seems to me. That's how synchronicity should work. It's like if synchronicity was working for everyone and was bringing everything together in some certain way, then I mean, we want synchronicity. Synchronicity is something that happens. People think of synchronicity as something that happens within time alone, but I think it happens within space as well. It's like the beautiful interactions within space. But I'm strictly talking right now just about time and space. I'm limiting myself. I'm limiting myself to this finite mind, this finite conception, which I can become the conception of time and space. It's like you can embody any concept. I can embody literally any concept. If I want to embody time and space, then I embody all of time and space. I am the awareness of time and space within the collective. It's like you can I don't I'm just limiting myself right now to strictly time and space. About people think about it. It's like we can think about this in so many ways. I think I don't want to get I just want to have a general discussion about it and just have like a make people aware of how I am aware of things, because I think when we all become aware together, it'll be a beautiful thing um, if we do. I mean, like, and I think what I said before was pretty true. It's like we all want more time and we all want more space because we see all these misconnections that are happening. And it's like, I want to meet more people. I want to have more connections. But for me, it takes a long time to connect with people. It's always been like, I feel like I've put everyone at a distance and it's been like, you guys are all here and I'm right here. I'm the one that's aware. I'm going to always be at a distance and we're never going to connect. And it's like, it's not my fault that it is that way. It's more like I understand the reality of money and I understand that it gives me this amount of time to exist. That's how I've always felt. It's like if I exist within the boundaries of money, then I exist between the boundaries of time, and then I'm safe in some sense. That's how it feels. It's like, but I don't want to talk about money here. I just want to talk about time, but it's pretty much inevitable. It's like there's a timing to money. It's like I was able to stay within the boundaries of like the some certain boundaries of money or something. But it's hard for me to be a finite mind a lot of the time. I think that's why I've been expanding for so long within. I think if you've ever experienced an imaginative burst of energy, it feels like that's who I am, and that's what I want to be, and that's what I want to do. I feel like overcoming time is about imagination. If you want to live for a long time and feel like and become immortal, it's like you will find a way to imagine yourself beyond time continuously imagining new ways to overcome the problem of time, because there's people that are continuously trapping people within time. It's like if you want to overcome everyone if you want to overcome every time trap there is, then you will live forever. I mean, that's the way to live forever. It's like, but people don't see what the time traps are. The time traps are like the internet in its entirety. The whole thing is like a time trap. So, I mean, if you wanted to escape time, then you'd also be escaping space. So, it's so simple actually. It's just if you want to escape time, escape space. And how do you escape space? It's like there's space all over. All you have to do is just forget about it. It's just like, oh yeah, there's my eternal being within does exist forever. It's like I do exist forever. There is my internal being, which I can imagine in a million dreamy ways. It's like my internal being is like who you imagine yourself to be. Who you imagine yourself to be is someone beautiful. Unironically, you can't be anybody else. You can't be anybody else but your beautiful internal being. And it's kind of funny that people have so their internal being seems to be so deep down, you know? But I don't know. I feel like my internal being has never really gotten out, and my external being has always gotten covered by situational situations and money. I've always just been like, you know, accepting my fate and attempting to reach for my destiny, but feeling as though it's not that it's pointless. There's always a good point to everything. I don't know. Time and space. Men definitely have a higher spatial awareness than women do. I mean, men are so much more spatially aware than women are. I feel like I've always been aware of things at a very high level, though. It's been like, instead of being aware of situations that people often fall into, it's like I fell into this situation of like, just I have to do this before something happens, and that is my situation currently. That is your situation, but if you look within, you'll find your inner being it exists forever. I mean, like, you have an eternal essence, and your eternal essence is more than you can imagine it is, but it is less than you will ever realize it is, because you will never fully understand it as an individual. You can only understand it as God. And to become God, it's not as easy, it's not as hard as people think, though. It's more just like, just find the awareness of the earth. That is your closest route to God. But God isn't the person who looks from afar. He's actually in the deepest sense of your inner being all the time. So it's kind of a strange thing. It's not that I believe in God. God exists within time as well, but he exists outside of it as well. It's only that part of God it's not trapped. He's just willingly trapped because he has nothing better to do. He's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna be a human again. What else do I have to do? I don't want to go and like be on other planets alone. That's so lonely. It's like, who would want to do that? If you continuously look from afar and realize that and believe that you're just outside of everything, looking into things, but realizing everything is beautiful, you will get to that place of God within the human collective that we call God. It's like, God is out there somewhere, and like, you will find that is true. If there's a bunch of people believing something is true, then it is true within the collective energy. It's like, the energy of belief is real. This has to do with time, because people believe that God exists beyond time, except in some sense, everyone's belief in God traps him in time, which is kind of a funny thing to think of. It's like, we all have a concept of God. Everyone's concept of God creates something within everyone's concept of God. It's like, everyone's individual concept of God converges into a single concept within our minds, the mind, the collective something, and it becomes what we believe it is, or we becomes whatever we think it is. So time and space, things happen within time and space. Events occur. I think it's good that events occur. I mean, it's good that we're not like alone forever. I'm happy to be here. I mean, like, I I'm just happy to be doing something. I feel like I've been gone for too long, or like never thought I was gonna be like a part of anything. But you can never not be a part of something. It's only that's kind of like I use that as like it's not a trick, but it's like but it's just true. There's um there's too much time. It's like I don't see the thing I hate about time is there's too much of it. I mean, like, it'll go on forever. There'll never not be time. There'll never be somebody who doesn't believe in time. What if there wasn't, though? I mean, like, we all believe in time, but what if we got to a point where nobody believed in time anymore? I don't know if I'd be happy. I'd be like, I kind of want time back. Why? Why would you want time back? We're all immortal. We can just live forever and we're all beyond time. I don't know if I want everybody to just be angels existing beyond time. That's what would happen if no one believed in time. We would all exist forever because time would not be something we believe in. It would be like, no, we don't believe in time. Time doesn't exist. There's infinite time. We can do whatever we want forever. It's like, well, that's true, but there's always everything is finite though. I mean, like, there's finite things everywhere. Where I am, I mean, like, I'm human. I'm going to die. What's always gotten to me is though somebody is going to have to deal with that though. I mean, like, of all the things that I've imagined that I will never see come to life, that is terrifying. It's not terrifying, it's just how can everything that I imagine be wasted? Or like humanity is so pathetic that everything that I imagine is not going to be used or something. I don't know. Maybe a time will come when I am pleasantly surprised at what exists and what doesn't exist, but I believe I know what exists. It's the world. It's going to demand something from me very soon, as it always does. It's a needy bitch. I mean, that's nature, you know what I mean? Nature is kind of a needy bitch, but I mean, we love her, you know what I mean? We love nature because we don't have anybody else that's gonna nag us into eternity. I think that's the reason why we love nature and life. I mean, I never thought about it before, but what would you do if you didn't have somebody that loved you? You know what I mean? That's the beauty of nature. It's like she's always gonna be there. She's always gonna be nagging you to do shit. I mean, if you were a god that had to exist for eternity, you would want somebody to just be talking to you. You wouldn't want to be alone. Especially you wouldn't want to be alone if you were God and you were just gonna like go up to every single planet and star and shit and just like make new planets and make new situations and make new histories and do crazy shit like that. You would want somebody to do it with, you know what I mean? I mean, like, that would be the most important thing, is to just to have somebody to do it with. If you had all the time in the world, what would you do? You would just find somebody to be as trapped as you were in yourself. I'm kidding. You would, I don't know. That's the funny thing about time too. It's like no matter how crazy the time gets, it brings us together. Time definitely brings us together. I want to know the relationship between time and space though. The that was basically just one big rant. But um, the time is now. There's only now. I feel like I've been waiting to talk about things that I've wanted to talk about just because I haven't gotten a clear shot to do it. It's like there's spaces and times in which things are meant to happen. But I don't really believe that as well. It's like I believe synchronicity has broken down in a large way because of our unawareness of when we created things. It's like we created technologies and things with no awareness of synchronicity. It's like synchronicity existed from a time perspective um, from the beginning of time. I mean, the synchronistic universe is what brought everything together into how it is now. The beauty that we see and the things that happen because we want them to um, happen not only because of our influence, but because of forces beyond our control, such as synchronicity, such as uncertainty. These forces are important from the beginning. It's like from the beginning of time, synchronicity has been working to bring things together beyond anyone's awareness. If you want to create a more synchronistic universe, to create more beauty in the world, and you believe it needs that, then you will learn to essentially play music. I think synchronicity at its heart is just a song played within time that influences events in such a way that it creates more beauty within them. That's kind of how I see it. It's like ever since the dawn of time, first there was just a cell, and then there was, everything. Okay, there was a cell, and then there was, little organisms, and then algae and fish, and all in the ocean, and then um, um, bigger animals. And then, I mean, synchronicity, it almost seems like uncertainty was at the heart of everything. But I believe it was synchronicity. Who knows? I mean, synchronicity and uncertainty seem like opposites to me. Synchronicity is what brings things together, uncertainty is what pulls everything apart. And it's kind of insane to think, actually, that uncertainty is going to win. It's like, in the end, everything falls apart. That's what we see. We see at the end of everything, the Big Bang exploded, and all that happened was not all that happened, but what is going to happen at the end of time is nothing. Like, uncertainty will dissolve everything and nothing will be left. It's like that's all the more reason for everything to get even more uncertain and crazy, because it's the only time that it can. No, I'm just kidding. Uncertainty doesn't win. I think maybe synchronicity wins. Who knows? It's not a battle between them, but they are opposites. It's like a balance, and it's like once there's no balance between uncertainty and synchronicity, most people don't find that within their experience very often. It's like, no, I don't see synchronicity within the world. I don't see uncertainty within the world. I just see people, or I just see things. It's like whatever you see, find that balance within yourself, because synchronicity and uncertainty is a balance within yourself. It's hard to realize that, but uncertainty, it's like you have to have a certain amount of uncertainty. You were born with it. You were born with this certain amount of uncertainty. You want to bring it down, and you want there to be little to no uncertainty, but it's never going to be the case. It's just never going to be that way. There's always going to be uncertainty. But you want to create a more synchronistic universe that creates more beauty in the world beyond people's awareness. It's like that's what the synchronistic universe is really good for. It's like there's things happen and it's like, wow, look at that. That's great. That's some synchronistic crazy event that just happened, you know? It's like, wow. Anyway, time almost feels like a dream to me. I feel like a child's conception of time is more beautiful than a adult's conception of time. We all get sad and nostalgic and things happen, and inevitably our memories get overloaded and bogged down with useless information, and then we get sad. It's like, look at all this time I've wasted. But what is really wasted? What is time wasted really in terms of time space continuum? It's like you filled your mind with all this bullshit. If time and space are connected and you've wasted a lot of time, you've wasted a lot of space inside your mind as well. It's like you should have, you can and you still should create the most beautiful experience for yourself first. People often think that that just means getting everything that they want, but you have to balance these two things, as I said, uncertainty and synchronicity. It's like if you don't do that, you will not have a beautiful time. A beautiful time is a beautiful experience. A beautiful time means a beautiful space around you. Everything's beautiful sometimes. Sometimes nothing is beautiful. Sometimes there's too much uncertainty, and then you get really scared because you're just like, I don't know what's going on. And sometimes there's too much synchronicity. It's like, damn, I've done this before. It's like, this has happened before. There's like, this is working in the same pattern, the same thing. It's like, that's what I'm reading about right now. Time loops. It's kind of freaking me out because I've been experiencing things over and over again and I can't stop it. It's like I gotta explain time loops to myself or get a handle on them. I can handle a lot of big concepts and I can handle a lot of awareness that not many people would be comfortable with, like awarenesses of things that I don't even want to be aware of. It's like no one wants to be aware of how many people are watching porn in your neighborhood. Like, no, I just don't want to be aware of that. It's like no matter how aware I become, I won't want to be aware of that. How could you become aware of that just by pure presence of awareness? It's like no, but yeah, I get good at guessing though. It's like I'm a good guesser. I'm like, okay, there's like 500 people in my neighborhood. I know how many people are watching porn. It's like I can just feel it. It's getting nasty. Ugh. I don't want to know. It's not that crazy though. But I am a good guesser. It's like the emotional universe isn't that far away. Emotions are really just guesses at how uncertain everything is. You are feeling some emotion all the time. No matter how simple or complicated it is. It's just anger. It's just happiness. It's just fear. It's just love. It's just whatever. But then you realize everyone is feeling something all the time. And then you get really good at guessing what everybody's feeling. It's like, yeah, I know what you're feeling because it's like the same emotions that I was feeling when I was going through something similar or something. And then you get to the point where you're just like creating experiences for other people. And that kind of makes you God in a way. Maybe I'm God. Maybe I've made everybody's experience. Maybe myself is the only self that exists. Maybe I'm destined to be alone forever. That's the way it feels sometimes. Anyway, the time and space. We were born from the Big Bang, which is terrifying to think of. Your memory extends back how far? It only extends back to when there was. That's still a matter of debate within me. It's like, well, first of all, you have to get it through your thick skull that you didn't come from unconsciousness. There's not a cold, dead universe out there that you suddenly arose from. You arose from consciousness. Everything is consciousness, which means that you are more inherently connected with everything than you think you are. That's what you have to get over first. If you don't get over that, then time will make no sense. I mean, time already doesn't make sense. It's like time arises because the illusion of time in our current conception of it, in many people's current conception of it, is it's like people think that they're finite minds. I mean, you are a finite mind in many ways, but you also have this internal essence and internal being that is forever. But its beauty and love can never be understood by one. I mean, it can be understood by one as the being that underlies everything, but it cannot be understood. I mean, like, I like the concept that it cannot be understood by only one person or only one thing or only one awareness, even, because then it will never be alone, you know? I mean, it doesn't want to be alone. I think it just, I mean, like, even awareness itself isn't wrong. I mean, awareness of time is a strange thing too. You're aware of time. My awareness of time is insane. I mean, like, I just need more people around me to not feel so alone all the time, but I have this crazy conception of time. I mean, like, I see time within energy. I mean, I see time as energy in many instances. It's like I have an imaginative awareness of time is more powerful than is more beautiful than a normal conception of time. It's like a normal conception of time, a normal human conception of time is straightforward and boring 9 to 5. That's the conception. This is the time I have, and this is all I have to do. Which is true, but if you imagine the time as anything that you desire it is, then it becomes anything, you know? You can imagine it as something more beautiful than it is. And that brings me back to always be imagining yourself and the world around you as what it can be. I mean, everybody knows that, but it's never been more important to dream. But no one ever tells you that. It's like you want to be the dream that you are. You are just a dream. I mean, I was saying before, there's such a beauty in a naive view of time. Just the same as when a band starts playing and they've never done anything before, but they're finding their sound, and there's a beauty in that naive place of like, I don't really know what you're making, but I can tell that you're trying to do something genuine. And that is true for time as well. It's like they're making time. They're going to make the background, essentially, for like the atmosphere, space, for everybody's experiences. That is what music is. It's like you're making the atmosphere that will be the background of everyone's dream, of everyone's experience within themselves. That's how I see music. It's like I mean, I didn't want to see music that deeply. I think it just happened where I was just so curious of like, I love music so much, but I want to know more about it. How can I know more about it? And how is it more beautiful? And there's nothing more beautiful than music. It's like the the universe is really made of music. So if you want to make, as I was saying before, also, if you want to make a beautiful synchronistic universe, if you want to instill beauty within everything and allow it to coalesce and dissolve and all these things that are not, it's not what normal people would think of, but it is possible for you to do, you would just make a beautiful song within your heart and carry that within your presence through your experience, your time. That alone would allow beautiful things to happen between people. And then we would see the rising of the inner being. I think that's very important. So, time and space are inherently connected. We all know this. I mean, time and space. Everybody knows time and space. My time and space have gotten really messed up. I think time gets messed up when we all have the time loop, thing that I've been experiencing. That's been a problem of experience, I think. Once I realized that everything is consciousness, there's no way around it. I mean, there's literally no way around. You can believe in the materialist version of the universe for as long as you want, but it doesn't last because it was just a sad, stupid dream. I mean, if anything, it's just like God just bored. He was just like, yeah, okay, I'll let you believe in the materialist universe. Whatever, man. I don't have anything better to do. So he was just like, whatever. I mean, like, that's how I see it. It was just like, okay, sure. You can believe in the materialist universe for a little longer because because I don't care. It's like I do care that you're objectifying things and you're not aware that you're objectifying consciousness and people too, especially women. I know you're doing it. Anyway, the synchronistic universe and uncertainty and time loops specifically. This is the thing. I think we have an eternal being within us. Internal, eternal essence. Your eternal being. And what's happening in my own experience is that I can't find anything original anymore. Nothing is original. It's like I've done everything. It feels like everything is deja vu. Nothing is original. I can't find anything original. It hurts. It's like I need something raw. I need something original. I need something now. I mean, like everybody wants that. They're just like, what's the next thing? What is the next level that I can get to? You know what I mean? Everybody's like that though. I mean, they're like, this is a game and I'm going to win. It's like, you got to settle down, man. Just settle down. There is a game being played. It's like, it's clear to me. I've gotten trapped many times in my own mind by believing stupid things, stupid people, stupid ideas, conceptions, paradoxes, time loops, stupid shit. There is a balance that can be found. I've always found that time is both more beautiful and chaotic because of simple geometry. I say that because simple geometries are so powerful. It's like a circle can send you around a million times in a second, or a circle can like expand into a beautiful feeling. It's like, what would you rather have it do? It's the same thing with time loops. I mean, it's inevitable that the internet's going to exist for a long, long time. I don't see any way around it. But I think consciousness and the internet has to be reconciled, because time was not understood, space was not understood when we made this thing that exists purely in what we conceive of as time. That's the internet for us. It's like it exists within time. It's like this big ball of time, but there's no space. It's like, how does that even work? It's like we've taken it's almost like a singularity or something, like a black hole. I mean, that's the internet. It's just one big black hole. It's like they're literally. I think it's literally a black hole. Like there's like a black hole and it's the internet. That's kind of what happened. It's not true, or it doesn't have to be true if you just see the Earth. But as far as our conception of the internet goes, it doesn't involve space. There's not like, oh, that person's like in there. They're in my phone and they're taking up a lot of space. It's like space almost has nothing to do with it. Space went out the window when we submitted ourselves to time. And who wins in the game of time? It's the Time Lord. I'm just kidding. Time Lords win, but money isn't time either. So it's like, if you people know that, they're just like, money is the time that I'm going to be happy. No, it's not. You're going to be happy because you're happy from the inside. You're not going to be happy because you think things as that are not true. I do believe that money will always exist. It's a resource that you use to make things, and it's gathered by people and it's fought over, and it'll be probably fought over for a long, long time. But it's nothing compared to what you can become inside. I think money itself is a finite experience, and I'm talking all of money, from the beginning of time to the end of money. That is an experience that many people are having. Millions and millions of people, billions, multiple billions of people are having that experience of, shit, I don't have enough money. I mean, like, we all experience that. I experience that. The only difference is I become so aware of people's awareness of themselves that I just have to do something about it. I mean, I have to like just talk and try to figure it out. But right now, again, I'm talking about time and space and the conception. And the biggest thing I see as a impedance or a blockage to our future happiness is the mistake that we can't create space from within ourselves. If you want more space and you want more time, create it from within. Find your presence from within. Find your space from within. There is an infinite amount of space. It's like, we know space goes on forever, but we don't think time does. Time is like this thing that we chop up into little bits. But space, that lasts forever. It's like, these things are going to come together at some point, time and space, because they were never apart. Like, the internet was this big ball of time. We can access all the time we want. We can find our happiest times, we can find our saddest times, we can find all the time, but none of the space. It's like the space is gone, or it's like the space is an illusion within. The internet seems to be, I mean, just guessing now, just for fun, the illusion of time without space. That seems to be what we created. I mean, like, if you look at it, there's no space, but you find space within yourself. Space doesn't exist anywhere else. Space does exist outside of us, but momentarily. I mean, believing in the conscious universe is interesting because we often ascribe human characteristics to what we see on our phones, but that's not the truth either. I mean, it's easy to see that no, the people on your phone aren't alive. I mean, like, unless you're talking to somebody on like FaceTime or something. The people on your phone aren't alive though. I mean, you can pretend to talk to them. You can pretend to talk to me right now. I might even respond. I don't know. Hey. But the people that you see are unconscious. They're not. Which is the craziest part that I'm getting to right now is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to make another video. This has been a little bit about time and space from my point of view, perception.